The movie opens by showing a pharmaceutical company named Blackwood, known for its commitment to innovation and for pioneering hundreds of treatments each year. Next, we see a woman named Claire, who has just arrived at the Blackwood facility. Claire is a volunteer who received an invitation from Blackwood, and she's going to take part in the Phase 1 clinical trial at the site. Upon reaching the room prepared by the company, she immediately lies down on the bed, but after a moment she is greeted by another volunteer named Allison, who is also participating in the trial. Shortly thereafter, they receive instructions to proceed to the testing area, where it's revealed that there are not just the two of them but 7 participants in total. Soon a physician named Dr. Berg arrives, explaining that he will be monitoring them throughout the testing period. Dr. Berg notes that they will be participating in Phase 1 of the clinical trial for a drug compound for 5 days. The initial dose will be 25 milligrams, which will be increased to 85 milligrams toward the end of the study. They are then given 1 dose each to swallow. After taking it, Claire undergoes a checkup. Initially, she experiences nothing unusual, but once the staff member leaves, she suddenly feels nauseated. Stepping out of the restroom, she realizes she's not the only one feeling this way, as Amir is also dealing with the same sensation. Amir is a college student who had applied for an internship at Blackwood but never heard back. When he received the invitation to join the clinical trial, he was thrilled, seeing it as his chance to secure a position at the company. Claire attempts to sleep but grows anxious and finds it impossible to rest. She decides to leave her room, discovering that all the other participants are wide awake too. Nobody can seem to fall asleep, which starts to raise suspicions about the trial. Soon, 30 hours pass without any of them managing to sleep, apparently due to this side effect. Elsewhere, we see Dr. Berg speaking to her superior by phone, voicing concern over whether the substance administered truly contained only 25 milligrams, because scans are showing that the drug goes straight to the nervous system and triggers severe brain inflammation. Her superior, however, tells her to continue the trial without asking questions and promptly ends the call. Dr. Berg then convenes the participants and explains that, since the parameters of the study have changed, the company is keenly interested in seeing how long they can all endure without sleep. She urges them not to fall asleep and suggests notifying herself or the on-duty staff if they start to feel overly tired. Time moves forward, and they ingest another dose. Claire undergoes a CT scan, revealing that she suffers from nyctophobia, or a fear of darkness, which causes her to recall a past incident she'd rather forget. Panic overwhelms her, and she decides she wants to withdraw from the experiment. Later, they are given the medication once more, except this time at a higher dose, which raises suspicions among the participants. Dr. Berg enters, acknowledging their concerns and stating that she values their input. She then offers them the option to leave and end their involvement. However, he also mentions that anyone who remains until the end of the 5-day trial will receive a bonus of 30,000 euros, which is no small sum. Hearing that amount, the group becomes excited, with the exception of Claire and Amir. They hold a little celebration to mark the incoming bonus. Seeing that Claire is merely sitting by herself, Allison tries to bring her into the festivities. Claire declines, saying something seems amiss. Why would Blackwood pay so handsomely unless there was a major risk? Allison tries to reassure Claire, insisting she's overthinking. Undeterred, Allison persists in persuading Claire to stay through the final stage, and Claire finally relents. Before long, another effect of the medication appears. Despite having been unable to sleep earlier, they're now overwhelmed by extreme drowsiness. Observing this, Dr. Berg pleads with her superior to terminate the study, as all immune responses in the participants have gone haywire, potentially endangering them. Her superior refuses, insisting the trial proceed with an even higher dose to observe what else might happen. Meanwhile, Amir stealthily approaches Dr. Berg's office, hoping to glean inside information. While Dr. Berg steps away, Amir slips in. Elsewhere, Claire notices Allison dozing in a chair. She tries to wake Allison, but sudden bleeding from Allison's nose, eyes, and ears sets in, accompanied by convulsions. Claire panics, only for Dr. Berg to appear and witness the same scene. Suddenly, the facility's security system activates a lockdown, sealing all exits. Dr. Berg and the others rush down a corridor, searching for a way out, but Dr. Berg is tragically impaled by a metal rod near the exit. Before passing away, she apologizes to the group for involving them in such a hazardous trial. Moments later, Amir arrives, telling the survivors that no one should fall asleep or even close their eyes, as it will result in dire consequences. He further reveals that he managed to see everyone's brain scans. In plain terms, the test compound has worked too aggressively, and once they drift off, the brain essentially forces itself to stop functioning, leading to fatal outcomes. Panicked, Paul and Marcus try to open the sealed gate, but Amir cautions it's no use. The automated system was specifically designed to contain threats, whether they stem from contamination, security breaches, or similar scenarios. For 24 hours, the building will remain sealed shut, and all lines of communication will be cut off. Amir then distributes smelling salts he found earlier, explaining they can forcibly restore alertness in an emergency. Each person receives 5 of these, but Ray irresponsibly uses one right away. Ray then opens a cabinet and finds a stimulant, prompting Amir to advise everyone not to use anything that artificially boosts energy. Amir likens their bodies to a car on fire that's still drivable. If it stops, it'll explode, referencing Allison's fate. As long as they remain awake, they should be fine. Paul decides to document their ordeal on camera, arguing that someone needs to record the events for the outside world to understand what happened, making it clear how harsh the testing regimen at Blackwood really is. Hearing his reasoning, Ray joins in recording. Meanwhile, Claire prepares a video message for her mother, revealing that she accepted Blackwood's invitation in order to fund her mother's hospital care. However, for unknown reasons, Claire deletes the recording afterward. Soon, Ray is overtaken by drowsiness after having used up all of her smelling salts. She asks others for some, but they refuse to share. At the same time, Claire searches Dr. Berg's computer and uncovers evidence that Blackwood specifically targeted individuals who were desperate in some aspect of their lives, making it simpler to cover things up should any accident occur during the trial. In a different section, we see Marcus in the restroom, where he hears the faint sound of someone whistling. Curiosity compels him to investigate. He walks in search of the source of that sound and notices a gate, one that is supposed to be sealed, gradually sliding open. However, when he steps through it, he finds only darkness. It turns out that what he is seeing is merely his spirit, which is unknowingly separated from his body. In reality, Marcus lost his life when he dozed off in the restroom just moments earlier. This loss devastates those still surviving, who begin to feel even more hopeless. Claire, on the other hand, is willing to go to extreme lengths to fight her intense drowsiness. She intentionally burns her hand in an effort to jolt herself awake. She then tells everyone that this is no time to surrender because that is exactly what Blackwood wants. She offers them a choice. They can sit there and give up, or they can join her in taking action. Her words reignite their determination, prompting them to try smashing through the wall they found earlier. Unfortunately, it's in vain. Just like the gate before it, the wall turns out to be impenetrable. Ray then suggests taking a stimulant medication to ward off the fatigue. However, no one is ready to agree, recalling Amir's earlier warning that using those pills would be as reckless as putting fuel on a fire. In response, Claire decides to talk to Amir personally. After Claire leaves, Ray grows increasingly suspicious of Amir. He wonders how Amir alone could be so certain the building is impossible to breach. Paul, meanwhile, views Amir's behavior as logical, since Amir wanted to work at Blackwood from the start. But Ray suspects Amir is actually an insider placed by Blackwood, considering he's the only medical student in the trial and seems to know every detail about the building's security and protocols. He believes Amir's real purpose is to keep them in line, ensuring the company's plan unfolds without complication. Hearing Ray's theory, Paul and Vanessa start to believe he might be right. They hurry off to uncover proof about who Amir truly is. Elsewhere, Claire meets Amir, who apologizes to her for reasons not immediately clear. He gives her a sheet of paper before explaining that the lockdown was triggered when he secretly attempted to copy all of their medical scans in Dr. Berg's office. Activating that security measure was an unintended result of his actions. Feeling defeated, Amir contemplates sleeping, but Claire strongly objects. Amir is the only near physician among them, she reminds him, and with his knowledge, he might find a way for them to escape. She says that if their car is running out of power, there must be another way to get more energy or to climb out and push, using his abilities to help them. Amir seems to get an idea and starts planning something. Soon after, Claire comes across Paul, who's on the verge of dozing off, so she uses one of the smelling salts to revive him. Together, they head to the laboratory room, just as Amir arrives. With Ray's suspicions fresh in his mind, Paul distrusts Amir from the start and claims to have discovered stimulant medication in Amir's bag. Amir barely has time to respond before Ray barges in and strikes him, tying him to a pole. Ray demands that Amir admit to working for Blackwood. Amir denies any wrongdoing, saying everyone is simply too exhausted and terrified to think straight. Despite this, Ray threatens him with a sharp instrument, insisting Amir must be hiding the real cure from them. Amir tries to reassure them that he has indeed been working on a solution. To prove it, Claire volunteers to be the first to test any remedy Amir has in mind. Under Amir's direction, Paul and Claire begin mixing a potential treatment. Once completed, they administer it to Claire. Meanwhile, Vanessa, still distrustful of Amir, tries injecting him with a sedative designed to induce deep sleep. She moves toward him, but then suddenly sees herself lying motionless on the floor. Unfortunately, she had dozed off, and the resulting shock to her system ends her life. Startled by Vanessa's collapse, Claire urges Paul to bring over the antidote they just created, but it's already too late, and worse yet, the container holding the antidote breaks. At that instant, Amir unexpectedly starts to laugh. Mistaking his reaction as mockery of Vanessa's death, Claire grows angry and threatens him, but he, feeling desperate, simply tells Claire to go through with it. Realizing the futility of acting in anger, she regains her composure and walks away, needing a moment to calm down. In another room, Claire notices something unusual about a section of wall directly in front of her. She quickly grabs an axe and calls Paul, who helps her break through it. They discover a hidden space beyond the wall. Meanwhile, Amir, struggling with extreme fatigue, hallucinates an image of Dr. Berg coaxing him into taking more decisive control of the situation. Ray, stationed beside Vanessa's remains, stumbles upon the piece of paper Amir had earlier handed to Claire. Alarmed, Ray rushes back to the lab, shoving it at Amir and pressuring him to explain. Suddenly feeling endangered, Amir calls out for help. Ray advances on him, threatening to strike him near his eyes with a surgical tool. In that moment, the rope binding Amir's hands snaps, and in the ensuing chaos, the sharp implement accidentally cuts Ray's neck. Overcome with desperation, Amir delivers more repeated strikes until Ray can no longer move. Claire tries to calm Amir, but Dr. Berg's apparition reappears to him, prompting Amir to eliminate all who remain. A frantic chase ensues. Claire seizes the chance to escape. Paul, who had left Claire's side, locates that newly revealed hidden area. He steps inside what looks like an enclosed chamber and resumes documenting his experiences on video. Before long, he feels the temperature around him rising. To his horror, he realizes it isn't an elevator at all, but a cremation unit designed to dispose of bodies. Trapped, Paul also perishes. Amir is still hunting for Claire, but his body finally collapses after reaching its limits. Claire also drops from utter exhaustion at nearly the same moment. Right then, the lockdown system disengages, and every door in the building swings open. Amir, with his last ounce of strength, drags himself toward the gate, only to find a group of people waiting on the other side. They have no intention of providing aid. In truth, they have been assigned to eliminate any evidence of the experiment's true nature, wiping out any surviving participants to cover up what Blackwood has done.
Is this real?
Sensing danger, Claire hides and manages to reach a long hallway. There, she sees all of the deceased test subjects laid out together, awaiting disposal. With no apparent escape route, she applies Amir's blood to her face and conceals herself in a body bag, attempting to deceive the facility's security team. Eventually, as the bodies are transported by vehicle, Claire emerges from the bag. The guards are so startled that the driver loses control, leading to a serious accident. Both guards in the transport do not survive, though Claire narrowly manages to remain alive. Fast forward 4 months. Claire is now in a hospital room, lying in a coma and receiving ongoing care. A TV broadcast can be heard in the background, announcing that Blackwood has been cleared of all charges against it. The blame for the unauthorized testing has been pinned on Dr. Berg, who has already lost her life, leaving her portrayed as the sole party responsible. And so the film concludes. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. Because by subscribing you have supported me to make better videos. See you in the next video.